Okay, so can everyone hear me and everyone see the screen? If you can just let me know that you can see the screen, and obviously as well, just make sure that you can hear me. Just pop it in the chat box just before I start, just so I know that we're all on track and ready to go. That would be fabulous. Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay. I think Mandy's there. She has just messaged me, so I think she can hear me. And then obviously Shelley. Shelley, you're on are you on a phone? Maybe I'm not too sure. Have you got yourself on there or not? Can you hear me, Shelley? Brilliant, lovely stuff. Okay, and I think Mandy's doing about 3 things at once, but she's listening, so we'll go with it. Okay, guys, it's been recorded. So again, like I say, if anyone can't get on tonight, if they're in your team, I know a few people are going to be on a little bit late or potentially not be able to make it. So again, we can pass this out. Tonight's training, following on really, guys, from last week a little bit, which I think a few of you that are on tonight were on last week as well, which is fabulous. Last week's was ratio. If you haven't had a chance to watch last week's, or again, if I can just say, guys, if any of your team aren't on these trainings, can you just make sure that you're tagging them underneath the recording link that I post up? Because sometimes I post it up the next day and there's not so many people that have viewed it. And obviously, I understand people can't sometimes make them, but I don't want, to be doing these really and passing them out and putting the links up if no one's watching them. They're not getting many views. So again, if you can just sort of reiterate to your teams that if they do miss out on the live trainings, please can they just schedule a little date in their diary to possibly just watch the recordings to make sure they get in the same information, or alternatively, if you want to do it as a coaching session, you can obviously pass that down, maybe in planning meetings as well. So as I say, last week was ratio, which obviously talked about, really if you were on it or if you've watched the recording, how much we have to do to get the results. So basically how many people we have to speak to get a yes. That's fine, Mandy, don't worry, hun. How many people we have to speak to get a one-to-one, how many put boxes we have to send out to get an order, what we have to have daily, weekly, monthly, so about, in terms of having one party a month, one event or one stall a month. Doing the activity will guarantee you CCs. There's no excuses. If the CCs aren't coming in, then we're not doing the activity. It's plain, pure, simple. That's the way it is. There's no secret about it. So tonight, I'm just going to move on to a little bit further really to the opportunity, which obviously works hand in hand with the ratio in the fact that we're obviously sharing the opportunity, either the products or the business, and obviously depending on how we share it and how many people we share it with depends on obviously how successful we are in our results. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 2 things tonight. Obviously, along with the opportunity that we've got to offer, whether it be products or whether it be the business, we're going to talk about obviously grabbing the opportunity, so making it something that works for you. And then the second part of tonight really is touching on looking for it. So are you making sure that your eyes are open, and are you making sure that you are looking at everything as an opportunity when you are out and about just in your daily life, which is really where we shouldn't be seeing forever as a job. It should be seen as something that we do naturally, and that is when you will find that your business really starts to grow, rather than having to schedule 1 hour here or 1 hour there. If you do it within your daily life without even thinking about it, that's when you'll find that it becomes a career choice and a decision, not something that is a job. So opportunity then, what are we all doing? We're all in forever. We're all here because we have seen the opportunity, we have caught the vision, and we have realised what we've got our hands on. So basically, guys, this quote is just saying, you might have seen this before. There's a few different pictures that go with this. It is Richard Branson. So you might have seen a picture with a black background with him on it. There's a few different pictures there. But basically, it's saying that if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, or maybe you're not sure what it is, just say yes to it if it's an amazing opportunity and learn how to do it later. This is something that I want you guys, again, if your team aren't on here, please, please, please coach this down. It's often the case at the moment where I think, a lot of us, like I said in the previous weeks, are looking to recruit. are looking to build a team. And it's often the case where people will sort of get people, you know, quite warm, and they sort of say, oh, I've got this person interested, that person interested, but they don't bite, they don't become people who join the business, yet they realise how amazing the opportunity is. And it's about us as people who are in this business who potentially are looking to build. I'm just talking about prospecting at the moment, with this one, in the potential of saying, look, you know, you can build this business as well. You could earn a little bit of money. Maybe they just want to retail and earn a few £100s. Maybe they want 20 grand a month and they want all the incentives the company has to offer if you've had a great one-to-one with them. It's really about kind of like putting out there your excitement and your enthusiasm, whether again it comes down to business or products, and saying, you know, what's the worst that can happen? You know, we've got an amazing opportunity. I'm sharing this with you and you can have it too. And also revert back to your journey if you are looking to build a team or looking for new customers, because when you were offered this opportunity, where was your head at? Did you say, I don't really understand it, so I'm not going to do it? Or did you say, I don't really understand it, I don't really know what it's all about, I don't really know a lot about aloe vera or being my own boss, but it sounds amazing because the person telling me about it is absolutely buzzing and I'm just going to go for it. And this is quite a great thing in the two people that are going to kind of speak tonight, because whenever I bring somebody into my team personally frontline, I will often find that I don't tell them loads about Forever. I don't go into a whole spiel about aloe. I don't tell them, unless obviously it's a, you know, a sit down one-to-one that we started in 1978, and I don't mention Rexmorn. And you know, I will often, if they, you know, they're intrigued or they're interested or they're wanting money or they want to work from home or whatever, I will just really use my journey and say, this opportunity is absolutely mind-blowing. It's not a job, it's a way of life. It will give you everything that you want and I will help you get there. And there's a lot of people that I've got in my team that have openly said, because I've spoken to a few people about this week already in planning meetings, that when they joined the business, they really had no idea what it was. They really had no idea about aloe. They had no idea about the incentives or the marketing plan or really who we were as a company, but they saw the opportunity and they grabbed it. And this is where I'm really want to stress this at the moment, that if you're looking to build or find customers or recruit or whatever you're doing, it's really important that you stress the fact that you just got involved, because a lot of you, again, on here, well, you know, majority at the moment on the trainings and that are my frontline. So when you joined, you probably didn't know loads about the business. Or again, if you're in somebody else's team and, you know, maybe possibly watching the recording of this, did you know everything about the company when you started? Probably not. So it's about learning as you go along. Okay, so 4 points to cover, really. Please jot this down. Again, guys, please coach this down to your team and have them coach it down to their team. And again, please make sure you pass this on as a recording, because I think it's going to help everybody, wherever you are in the business, and wherever you are in the downline. So you don't have to know it all straight away. There are some people who will take a little bit of time to maybe be in the team page, learn the business, say, oh, I'll just watch you, and then when you earn money, I'll join. That can happen. I've had it happen, and I have had people 6 months later on join and say, okay, I've watched you, you're doing really well, I'll join you. That's fine. It will always happen, but it's not the way that you want to kind of structure your business. Some people who you think you would be amazing, you just need to do this. You need to, again, pass on your journey and say, look, when I got involved in this, I really didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I've learned it as I've gone along. So you haven't got to know it all straight away. That's what your upline is there for. And obviously, as we know, which I'll go through in a second, all the tools that we are provided with when we start this business, whether it's a person in the form of your mentor, whether it's a team page, whether it's a website, whether it's a book, whether it's a YouTube video, you've got everything available to you to help you to start building straight away. Starting with the basics. I'm going to cover this again on you can see there's 4 points and then 4 points again, so we'll come to it in more detail, but basically starting with the basics, not trying to be clever and, you know, start looking at, you know, chairman's bonus when you join. Forget all of that. That will come in time if you want it. You need to know what you need to do to start to build your pipeline, build your who do you know list, and make sure that you are doing the basics, which are imperative if you're looking to either just retail or to build a business. You still need to start with the basics in that First Steps to Manage a book. Don't overcomplicate it. Again, this is something that I've talked about before. And again, it's something really important to pass down to your team. I think it just tends to happen that, through no fault of people a lot of the time, is that once we sort of get a bigger team, and I'm noticing this at the moment, for example, with my team and you guys, as the team gets bigger and bigger, sometimes further down the line, it gets a little bit like Chinese whispers, and you can lose a little bit of what you're trying to coach, and it gets a little bit lost in translation. And it's really important. And again, this is where I will say to anybody who's, got a team, you really need to coach deep in your team. It's not about stopping at your front line. It's about coaching right down and sharing with people, that it is duplicatable, the business, and that everything that you are doing, everybody below you can do, and everybody, who comes into their team can do as well. And along with that goes, don't reinvent the wheel. So we really, really need to not be trying to be clever. We need to not really go off on our own, not look at our First Steps to Manager book for three weeks and try and go and be clever. It doesn't work. Every single person who's done that comes back to the wheel, to the cycle, to the First Steps to Manager book. Every single person. I speak to top leaders in the business who said for the first 6 months they tried to do their own thing. They failed, and they came back to the First Steps to Manager book and to the basic cycle that we have. So it's really important that this is stressed, for yourself, to your team, and anybody that you bring into your business, or that they bring into their business as well. And the 4 points that match with that, like I've just said, not knowing it all straight away, goes directly with learning about the products as you go along, learning about the business model. Even if you are just retailing, you do need to have an idea of what you're talking about. You do need to know what this business offers. So you can't just go, oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I'm only retailing. It's great. You have to have a little bit more, because it's having your knowledge, which, even though that knowledge might be in the business, it will actually get you more retail. You have to have a background of knowing what it is that we have to offer and what we do as a business with our model. Learning about the company, again, whether you're retailing or building, whatever you're doing, you have to have a background about the company. You have to know a little bit. And again, guys, I've mentioned it before, but this comes from your company BP. I think I could do my, company BP in my sleep. Yes, I speak at it, but even if I didn't, I would attend every 2 weeks minimum, if not every week. If I could, between planning meetings at the moment, because for me, it's just something that has massively, taught me about the company. It's taught me about the products, the business model, everything really. And also learning about myself, and learning about yourself is really important. A lot of people forget about that one. And again, I want to stress that one in terms of you guys and coaching it down to your team as well. You need to make sure that when you're learning this business and you just start, that you're learning about yourself, and you're actually thinking, what do I need to do? What do I want to be? Am I the kind of person that's going to be successful? Am I negative? Am I positive? Do I find that my glass is always half empty and that I'm drained with my life? Have I got to pull myself up and be more positive in order to have, success, whether again, retailing or recruiting? Whatever you decide, you need to work on those 4 areas massively from the beginning of your business. I mentioned start with the basics. We all know it. Not going to go on about it. 4CC, I said it before. Do the activity, you'll get the CCs. Don't do the activity, you won't get the CCs. It's not rocket science. It's simple. And if you make excuses, you won't do it. If you don't, you will. There's no way around that. It's the way it is. When you start this business, whether or not you know what aloe vera is, whether or not you know about the business model, whether or not you know the whole background of Rexmorn and the company, what am I thinking of? Can't think of the word. The company slogan and different things like that we have. You just need to know that 4CC is what you need to be doing. And again, that's something to coach down to your team when they come in and they say, and Adam May mentioned it on his training last night, which if you haven't watched, I apologise, I've been running around today, but the recording is on Divine Success. I will pop it on here after this training tonight. Whether or not you know what you're doing, you need to know that 4CC is the minimum, and that is exactly what you will do. So you need to be basic. You need to have a plan. All the rest will come. But you need to know that 4CC is what you need to do from the beginning, because I'll tell you something that will happen, and it's happening at the moment in this team and in other people's team. When people join this business and they go, I'll learn about it for a couple of months and then I'll start doing my 4CC. Huge, huge mistake. Cannot stress that enough. If you leave your 4cc a couple of months until you think you know a bit more about the products, the business, the company, again, maybe yourself, you are going to struggle like mad to get it up and running. Because you go out to your friends and family and you go, I've got this business and blah, 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 and it's brilliant, and everyone's dead excited for you, or maybe not. So maybe you go and find some cold market people if you don't get the support close to home. But basically, you give that excitement and then you don't do anything. And that's happened to a few people recently, sadly in my front line and also further down the line in the team as well. And it's a really, really sorry state of affairs, because that excitement 3 months on, when you're trying to get your 4cc for the first month, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it becomes such a hard thing to try and do to get 4cc if you don't do it from the very beginning of your journey. It's very hard. So please pass that on to your team. Oh, we've got Emma on now. Fabulous. Glad you could get on, Emma. I think you can hear us okay. I've just got your mic up there, so you should be fine. Follow the simple cycle. Again, don't overcomplicate it. The cycle is in your First Steps to Manager book. It's there. It's simple. It's written. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do the cycle. Listen to your upline and other leaders. I've certainly, my whole journey, listened to the likes of Jane and John Leach. I've been to several trainings. I've watched them online. Oh God, till I've fallen asleep. I have spent many hours learning from the people in Forever who have been successful, and what I coach down to you guys is what I've learned from them. So whether or not people take on my coaching, I've learned it from the leaders, and it's bringing me in a great income, and it's got me a great business. So, you know, it's important, again, not to stray away from your upline, stray away from the leaders, and try and do it your own way, because I'm telling you, you will come back. You will always come back, because you need to listen to people who have achieved what it is that you want to achieve, again, whether it is as a retail income or whether it is a lot more. And on the bottom there, I've just quite simply popped on that you need to be, there's loads of things you need to be. I've gone through it before: passionate, excited, enthusiastic, driven, everything that we know we need to know. But the two things that goes along with all of this that I've just mentioned in terms of learning as you go along, you need to be coachable. So you need to be open to learning, which a lot of people say they are, but sadly when they start the business, they're not coachable, and that's a big mistake. So be coachable. Make sure your team are willing to listen and be coached, and if they're not, leave them, and they will come back when they're ready, or they will disappear and you will have a bigger team. Okay, don't get hung up on what people decide to do. Just make sure that you are coachable, and you try to make sure that anyone that you bring in is open to your coaching. And also be self-motivated. I've said it before, we all know this. There's lots of us on here that are building teams now. You need to be self-motivated. It's, you know, you are your own boss. Nobody will tell you when to start, when to stop, when to eat. It's up to you. So you need to make sure that you are self-motivated in your business as well. Again, with the opportunity, we're talking about grabbing it. So grab the tools that are available from the minute you start the business. The minute you start, again, 2 people this week have gone, well, I'm just going to give it a month and I'm going to see where I'm at down the line. Big mistake. They're going to struggle 10 times more in a month than they would right now for picking up the tools. So again, I understand people need to learn, but learn as you go along. Okay, so First Steps to Manager book, we know it. Just make sure, I know we know this, guys, but I'm just reiterating this again for anybody who's new that I want to pass this down. Please, please, please make sure that we are saying that this needs to be used throughout our journey in Forever, not just in the first 2 weeks, not just in the first 6 months, not just in the first year. I am nearly 14 months into my Forever business, and I picked this up yesterday, and I started to reuse my activity tracker at the back, which I'm going to do a video on because it's something that I've not done for a couple of months due to things, you know, growing in the team, and I've gone back to it, and I've noticed a difference in just a day of using my activity tracker. So, you know, using that book is absolutely crucial to making sure. And also, again, guys, it's a big word I'm going to start using quite a lot more at the moment as well, because the team is growing, is to make sure that it's duplicatable. If somebody joins your business and it looks too hard or too confusing, they will just stop. You need to make it so that everybody, no matter how far down the line, is doing exactly the same thing as the person who brought them in. Other tools, as we know, we all know this. I've just put them there as a reminder. And again, if you've got new people, make sure that you've passed all of these tools on to them. So, I mean, I probably missed things out here. There's so much available to us. I've not even put on here like books and DVDs and audios and everything else, but the general kind of standard stuff that we've got here. So you've got your Forever Living, your Forever Knowledge, and your QLS. They are right at the top there with tracking your business, knowing the basics, and doing the training. Then you've got obviously your Facebook pages. So you've got the 18 page, you've got Happy Success, and then you've got Divine Success. I don't use Divine so much anymore, guys, because everything that goes on there, obviously, unless it's in Happy Success beforehand, I'll pop it in Happy Success. So you can kind of merge those two together. But obviously, Happy Success is our team page. Also on Facebook, you've got the testimonial page, the animal page, the beauty page, and at the moment, I think the sports page is out of action, but it's there when it comes back up and running. You've got AlloPod. These are two. I just want to touch on these quickly. AlloPod and Vital Science. These are incredible websites. Not websites, what am I thinking of? YouTube channels, sorry, not websites, YouTube channels that you can subscribe to. I'm on both of them. AlloPod is pretty much all about your products, which is a great way. And again, last week somebody went, I can't find any info on products. And it's again, if you're not getting it coached down to you, you're not passing it down. So you must make sure that as your team grows, everybody in your downline is getting exactly the same information, because I've now got people 4th, 5th, 6th generation to me who don't know the basics. And I don't really know why, because it's not getting passed down. So please pass this down to your team and make sure they pass it down to theirs. Vital Science is an amazing YouTube channel as well that goes into parts of your body. So if you're looking for something that you've got, maybe a customer who's got something wrong with the digestive system, you can go on there and you can click digestive system. You can click, it's like a wheel, if any of you have been on. You can click tiredness. You can click the heart. You can click things like memory or like your brain. So you click different parts of that wheel, and then you can have a little look at kind of like, you know, things that might occur there. So problems with the body or problems with that area that you need to look at a product for. It's very, very clever, actually. And I think I learned about that one a few months ago, and to be honest, I forgot about it and I've started using it again. So I've put it back on here for all of you to use and pass down. Discover Forever, again, a great one to sometimes just familiarise yourself with. And also YouTube, again, there's so much on YouTube. Subscribe to Ange Lochran, subscribe to Andy Waring, Diana Page. There's so many videos of success days on there, which are just, you know, mind-blowing, very motivational, very inspirational. I sometimes sit and watch YouTube videos and just sit there in tears, including the one that Mandy made me find last week that I haven't watched for a while, that had me in there. So, you know, guys, use everything that is available to you. Make sure it's passed down to your team. Also, lastly, on the first part of your opportunity, before we move on, we know this already, but it is your why. And I know I'm stressing this, I know it's a repetition, but I'm bringing it up again because I've had 2 planning meetings this week, and I've had people messaging me on Facebook going, it's just one of those months, I'm not too sure what's happened, I will get my CCs in 1 month, I'll get there. Okay, it's a really, really poor way of building your business. Okay, if you're not connected to why you're doing it, you won't get your CCs in. It won't happen. Full stop. It won't happen. You need to know why you joined this business. You need to know why you bought your NDP or you signed up. Again, doesn't matter if you're just retailing. You have to have connection with your why to go and do your 4cc minimum. 100%. So again, please coach it down. Please have your team coach it down. Connect with your why. Be specific. I just want to quickly go through this. I know a lot of us know it, but again, be specific. I spoke to somebody last week and I said, what are you doing the business for? And she went, I just want money. I went, no, what do you want money for? It was a first planning meeting with my new team member 2 days ago. And she went, I just don't have enough money at the end of my month. And I went, right, but what do you want money for? And she went, to pay the bills. I went, no, what do you want money for? And after about 20 minutes of repeating myself, she just got really emotional. And she was like, well, do you know what? If I had £200, I could do this. If I had £400, I could do this. And then she was like, my God, if in 6 months I had £1,000, that would change my entire life. Okay, now that's what we need from people. You have to get a connection. If you're sitting down in a planning meeting with a brand new team member or a team member or whatever, whatever level they're at, if all you're getting is, I want a car, I want a house, I'm telling you now, within a couple of months, they're going to stop doing 4cc. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Also, people lose touch with their why. So again, if you are not connected to your why, you need to go back. It's not your upline's responsibility to go and do that. So again, if you've got team and they're not doing enough, you need to reiterate to your team that they need to go away and spend some time. And Jane Leach says this: take yourself to a quiet place and think about why you started Forever. You have to have specific details. I've actually got written in my first dream book, actually, from when I started, not even my dream board. I've got a book which I've written a whole page of, like a big A4 page, and I've just written it. And I remember doing it, and I only looked at it a couple of months ago, and maybe I'll share it at some point with you. But I have in there a little bit about my dream house, and I have I've said this to a few of you before, but I have what the drive will look like. I have what the gates will look like. I have what the front door is like. I have how many bedrooms it's got. I have what the bedroom will look like. I look at the layout of my kitchen. I've written some stuff down in there that I haven't looked at for a good 6 months, and I've gone back, and it's given me the drive this year to start getting even more serious and getting more passionate and start to put things in place and go out and find more people to work with. And it's just got to be down to you to be specific and know why you're doing it. You need to have deadlines, dates, and you need to have an amount of money. She's not going to speak tonight, but we are going to continue this training a little bit next week, because I want to have some different speakers. Like I said to you the other week, I really want some new people to start speaking on these trainings. So she's going to speak next week, but just to touch on it really, Mandy, she messaged me the other day, and she's put really, really serious dates on her goals. And for me, I've said it before, Mandy is more driven now than I think, and she'll tell you next week, than she's ever been. And I'm blown away at the moment by the messages off Mandy telling me about her goals. And I'm getting emotional even saying this, because I know how driven you are to do it from where you were kind of 6 months ago. And the things that Mandy's been doing the last week have actually blown my mind, because I can't believe how driven she is. And she'll get there, because that's where I was when I went, there's no way that I'm going into June not being a manager. It's not happening. It's not happening. I might actually grab you at the end. I'll see what time it is, Mandy. If not, hun, then we'll definitely get you on next week. I just want to make sure that I don't run over too much, because I know people have got things on, and I want to make these sort of an hour if I can. But let me see how much time I've got left, hun, and I might pass over to you. But I'm quite emotional there about Mandy, because it's someone this week that's just totally surprised me and been like, I've done this, this date, this much, right down to the pound. She's kind of been really specific about her amount on what day and what it's going to pay for. And this is what your why is all about. And Mandy is doing more than I've ever seen her do. And it's massive connection to your why. Have a visible dream board. Huge. I've spoken to 2 people this week don't have a dream board. I'm absolutely mortified. They've been doing the business for months, and I said, where's your dream board? Well, I started it, but I haven't really had the chance to put more pictures on it. It's not about pictures. It's not about just going and sticking something on there because it looks nice. You've got to want to have pictures in front of you of what you want to achieve. That's it. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. I've said that for a year, and I will say it for as long as I'm in Forever, which really will be forever. You have to have something that gets you emotional. Mandy told me about that video, actually, just as I was saying, and I went back on, and obviously that was me at the big event last year, and I hope you guys have kind of watched it for yourselves, really. And I sat there and I watched it, and I've watched it about 3 or 4 times since Mandy messaged me and just went, oh my God, I've just watched, the video of you in 4 times, and every time I've cried. Even if I watch it 20 minutes later, I will cry again, because it takes me back. And nobody asked me to go up on stage that day. Jane didn't say to me, Philippa, she just went, 5 people, anyone. It was like an out-of-body experience. I got off my chair and I walked to the stage crying. I don't even know where that came from. I just had an urge to share that with a room full of random people, loads of managers that I don't even know last October. So you know, you've got to find that connection. You've got to find that connection, which will make you go out and drive your business forward. And the final part of the section 1 of grabbing the opportunity is exactly what I said before. You need to be excited. You need to remember every single day that you have your hands on the most incredible opportunity and products, and be excited to share it with anyone and everyone. You know, this might not be a bad thing to write down, put on your fridge, put on your mirror, put on your board. I don't know, maybe write your own little thing that you have to look at. And again, if you've got, I don't know, down day, bad day, no's, people mocking you, laughing, people ignoring your messages on Facebook after they've seen them, all the things that get you down, piss you off, annoy you, upset you, you know what? Have something there that you're reminded of. It doesn't matter, because you've got something life-changing. Who cares if someone says no? It's their loss, not yours. Move on. Next. That's it. Product or business. Next. I've sat today at the fit training in Manchester, and I had goosebumps, and I don't even know why. I was just sat there at one point and I thought, I've got goosebumps, and I don't even know. I think it's Dr. Peter Wellington was talking about how amazing our products were, and I just thought, I am so proud to be a part of something that's amazing. Business model is amazing. The company, the products, the people, the recognition, everything that we offer is incredible. It's not out there. I spoke to a lady the other day about Herbalife, and she said it's absolute rubbish. My lady that's joined recently, who used to do Weight Watchers, she went, oh my God, Weight Watchers just going down the pan. It's the worst company ever. We have not got that. Please be excited. Please remember how mind-blowing what you've got your hands on is, and start to talk about it. Start to share it with everybody. Moving on to the second part of the slideshow tonight. So basically sharing what we have, which is exactly what I've just said. Sharing what we have, sharing what we've got to offer. And again, it doesn't matter if you're just retailing. You still need to be bringing in a good 4cc minimum, and you need to be making sure that you've got 20 to 30 regular customers that will get you your retail. Again, if you're sharing the business, you're building a team, you're going to manager and beyond, then you're looking more at talking about the business, the model, the company, and obviously sharing that with people. How do we do it? Again, I've gone through it before. Just if you can, guys, just write these down. I know we've talked about it before, but write them down and just put a tick next to the ones that you do. So talking to people face to face, social media. So obviously you've got Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or, oh God, LinkedIn. I don't even know what that is, but things like that. Email, text, call. So you've got a party or a launch, which again, 1 a month minimum, not one when you start and nothing for 7 months. I don't know why that happens. An event or a stall or a fair, networking event. Obviously your put box going out, flyers. So flyer in your local area, contact marketing, so people shopping, and obviously you've got referrals. There's probably even more. I mean, I probably do things I don't even realise I'm doing. But that is your general kind of list of what we should be doing every single day in some way. So write all those down and just put a little tick next to the ones that you feel that you do. You know, maybe not on a daily basis, maybe weekly, maybe something that you do once a month, or something that you would say that you do. And what I'd like to do, guys, is just in the chat box, if you'll just do me a favour, just all put a number of how many you've put a tick next to. So obviously if you've ticked talking to people, social media, you might have ticked, oh, I have a stall a month, I have a networking event, you know, I make sure that I go contact marketing once a month. 10. Brilliant. Is that how many I've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Brilliant. Fantastic. That's all right, Deb. 10's fantastic. Anybody else? Anybody else thinking I don't? Be honest. Anybody thinking on this call I don't do enough? I don't do enough of those. Anybody looking at that thinking, wow, I probably need to do a bit more in terms of sharing what we have? Yeah, I would totally agree with that, Mandy. Totally agree with that, Mandy. 100%. Absolutely. Something that you I think you did like 1 or 2 every now and then, and now you're doing an awful lot. Okay. Brilliant. 11. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So you know yourself whether or not you do enough. Okay. So this is where it's about looking at your business. Brilliant. If you're doing, that many 10 or 11, absolutely fantastic. And those are the people that will get the CCs. That's why you're getting 4cc, 5cc. That's why you're building team. That's why you've got regular customers. Okay. So like I've just said, there's no secret. Do the activity, get the CCs. Now, this is interesting. We should use a minimum of 3 to 4 ways to connect with people. Now, this is something that Jane Leach says, okay? Now, 3 to 4 ways, if you look at all of those like we've just said, that's why I asked you guys that before I went to the next slide. So 3 or 4 ways we should, that's exactly what I was going to come on to, Shelley. So brilliant. So 9, but you need to do more consistently. Exactly hits the next point that I'm going to go on to. 3 to 4 is what you should be doing. Okay, now if you mentioned 10 or 11, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, you're booming. But the difference is that we need to use 3 to 4 consistently and persistently, and it should be committing to them daily, weekly, monthly. Okay, so I do all of those, I know I do, again, so that's 12. But if I was to be 100% honest with myself, I could probably go, I could do that a bit more in a week, or I could make sure that I do that every month. So I do networking events every 3 months, perhaps. Maybe I could do a networking event once a month. So there's always room for improvement in what you do. But if you're doing all of those in a month, absolutely amazing. Can you potentially up your activity in those areas that would bring you a better result to make sure that you do 3 to 4 consistently? Obviously, if you do 6 to 7 consistently, you're going to get better results in your business. It's going to result in more CCs, more put boxes, more customers, more referrals, obviously, and it's also going to result in potentially more team members. So building your team as well. Consistency and persistence is exactly what Shelley's just said there. Yeah, and obviously, Emma, it comes down to time, 100%, and I know, obviously, yes, I do have more time, and I'd never say you always do more like me, and, because I 100% understand that. So obviously you've got to find out what works for you, and you've got to have fun with the business. If it's not fun, you're doing something wrong. So yeah, 100%, if you've got more time, you would do more. But what I mean is just looking really at the results that you want to achieve. So if you want to achieve results, or if you're not getting your 4cc, if you're struggling to bring in your CCs, what do you need to do to get your CCs? The secret is, is kind of in the first steps to manager, if there is a secret, which there really isn't, but it's there in black and white to tell you what you need to do. And a sense of urgency. And again, that is whether you're retailing or recruiting. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, you still need a sense of urgency in your business at all times to get your 4cc. If you sit there and go, oh, I've got 4 weeks to do 4cc, and then this again is what's happened twice this month already. I've had 2 people go, oh my God, I don't know where the month's gone. It's the 25th, 26th, and I've not got my CCs, and I'm having a panic attack. Why? Why have you not got your CCs? A, because you're not planning, which I say in my sleep. I don't know why it's not being listened to. And B, because you've not got a sense of urgency. You're just thinking you've got 4 weeks. You need to break down your CCs and all the rest of it and volume maps so that you've got a bit of a plan, and you've got a little bit of urgency to make sure that you're getting the activity, which takes away the panic and means that you have more fun in your business. Okay, another question for you. We're going to move on now. We've got our speakers coming up shortly. So how did you get involved in Forever? How did you get involved in Forever? Okay, so this brings me on to, I mentioned opportunity. That's what tonight is about. And I've mentioned going through grabbing the opportunity and then obviously looking for it. So obviously we talked about grabbing it by using all the tools that we've got available to us. And making sure that we are, connected with our why, making sure that 4cc is a given. It's no question. It's not a maybe. It's a given. That's what we do if we're going to grab it. We're going to build it. We're going to make sure we do the basics, and I do our building blocks of 4cc. Then you've got the flip side of that, which is to look for the opportunity. So obviously there was a point where, if you're in my team or you're in somebody else's team, so basically you're in Forever, where somebody was looking for the opportunity and you were the opportunity. You either got a message, you met them out and about, You might have been in a family gathering with them. They might have met you at a party. Whatever it is, however they've met you, again, whether you're frontline or, again, this is a really, really great activity to pass down to your team, I think, is to look at how they got involved with you in their in Forever and started their journey. And are they doing that to find people, to find customers, to find prospects? Are they going out there and doing the activity that you did to find them if they want to build a team or find customers? It's quite an important thing to think about, because it makes you think, am I doing enough for what I want to achieve? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand over. We've got Emma now on, and we've got Deb on, which is fabulous. I'm just going to hand over to Emma for just literally 2 minutes, who's just going to tell you a little bit about her journey. So not so much her testimonial, more about her sort of way of getting into Forever. I hope you like the pictures. I was busy finding these before. Quite like them. But yeah, her involvement in Forever, how she got involved, how I contacted her kind of journey to being, recruited, if you like. And also Emma's got a fabulous retail base, so really being able to say, I do apologise, Emma, I've totally missed a letter out of your name there. Also saying to you how she builds her retail base, how she makes sure Emma has never ever in 13, nearly 14 months been less than 4cc active. Never. And it's a massive achievement. Massive. So I'm going to hand over to Emma, and I'm just going to unmute you, hun, and then you can just have a little chat for 2 minutes to the team. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Lovely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself so there's no feedback. I think we're okay, but I'm going to mute myself for a second. So, yeah, go for it, hun. Just basically how you got recruited, and a little bit about what, sort of getting involved with the business, and then obviously how you get your customers and get your 4cc each month. Thank you.
Okay. So, back, 14 months ago then nearly, I had problems with my skin. Philippa noticed this, and she messaged me, first of all, about the products. I then fell in love with the products, and was really liking them. Would text Philippa saying, oh my God, they're amazing, blah, blah. And she was like, well, you can have a piece. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Was really unsure. I was like, no, I'll just keep buying products. And then they worked wonders on my skin after about a month of using them. It's about just over a month of using the product. I was like, do you know what? I want to do this. And I said to Philippa, I want to know more, because I'd seen loads on her Facebook. I'd followed her a little bit. And she keep messaging me and being persistent in messaging me and finding out about my skin and how I was doing, and kind of dropped subtle hints to see if I was interested. And that made me more interested by her doing that, actually. So basically she prospected me without me even realising, and made me want to do it. So I think I was quite an easy person to get on board, actually. She basically said to me, are you interested? Let me give you a call. She phoned me up. She sounded so excited and was like just telling me all this amazing stuff. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know where my head is. I don't even know what she's talking about. I don't understand any of this, but yes, I'll do it. So then, I basically and then said, send me the paperwork over. I'll do the form. Did the form that night, and was just wowed by it all. And I was like, oh my God, like 2 days later, what have I done? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand. Like, it's a complete kerfuffle. And then obviously I had my Skype with Philippa, and she put me on track, told me what I needed to do. Things just went from there, and she made clear how important 4cc was. So I built up my customer base by doing a launch straight away. Obviously I live in Guernsey, so I've only had Philippa on Skype the whole time. I've had no one else over here. There was only a couple of ladies doing it at the time, which were quite old, and didn't want to be on their teams. So I went with Philippa, obviously, even though she was further away to me. But she's given me the help and support I've needed, and carried on letting me know what I need to do. But also, I come up with my own ideas as well, not reinventing the wheel, but just putting my own things. I've put like creative flares on things to get my customers. I've advertised on different sites and put little sets together. Quite like doing things like that. Do a lot of launches, wrap parties and different things, and advertise a lot on Facebook and social media. to keep people interested in what I'm doing. That's how I get a lot of my customers coming back. For example, at the wrap parties, I do joint ones at my house, and to say, "Oh, come along." People come to those, and I get the money, and then that makes me buy another wrap kit and stuff. So it's not all necessarily just about retailing. I've looked outside the box a little bit. But yeah, I do have a customer base that is consistent. I have lost a couple of customers recently due to a lot of new reps over here. But I've not let that get me down. I've got back on it. I've built my own website, and just sent that to Forever to check over. And I've also got loads of other ideas about doing different things to get my customer base back up. Yeah, that's it really. I've been doing the social media. I do the contact marketing. I have to admit that I'm not as good at the contact marketing, like going around and people shopping. I am better, unless if it's someone I know and I bump into them in town and they say, "Oh, you're looking well," then I find it quite easy. But if it's a cold person and you're kind of like, "Oh yeah, I'm just shopping for this," that's okay. But I sometimes do struggle with how to fit it in. But I do get in there. But I find events like wedding fairs that are really, really good, and the Clean Nine just goes crazy at wedding fairs and things like that.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Emma. Thank you.
Sorry, it was a bit of a ramble.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you all can just hear. God, I get so choked up with you guys now, but I hope you all guys can hear on there how amazing. I'm just going to pick out a couple of things that came through there, because again, if people are on the recording, I want them to hear a couple of things that are really, really, really crucial to what Emma's been doing and why her journey has been so successful. Yes, she's not a manager, irrelevant. Okay, she's not coaching anybody at the moment, irrelevant. She does her 4cc, she builds her business, she's never been less than 4cc active in 14 months, which is absolutely amazing. That is a huge achievement. And I'm just going to go through just quickly there a couple of things that I just jotted down from what Emma said. Emma came from being a customer. So do you speak to your customers about the business? Do you? I don't know. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. Is that something that you can start doing? Can you go back to your customer? She's absolutely amazing. Something else Emma said there, it's just so funny. I think I was quite easy. You were quite easy to recruit, but you were a flipping nightmare to try the products. I think I've tried to say to you, I've got something that would really help you, and you were going, "Oh, you're just a really good saleswoman. I'm not interested." So the actual getting to try the products was a few months. But because I know you did. But because the products were so amazing, I was so passionate about Emma improving her skin, because I knew they would work. And I'm sure in that picture you can just see that she looks absolutely gorgeous. Would you look at that picture and you look at maybe the pictures before? That 100%, where you saw her before. I think Emma's posted in Happy Success the pictures of her when I first messaged her with her skin, and it's just incredible. You wouldn't even know for 1 second that she had any sort of acne in that picture at all. That's on the screen now, and for me that's just huge. And it's not only satisfying that she's building the business, but the fact that I've been able to help her with something that started off as just a product. And then you look at where she came from, a customer, and then look what happened. We connected on Facebook. We built a relationship. Emma was a kids rep when I was an entertainer, or maybe an ents manager. I can't remember what year it was now. Was it 2010? Maybe. But yeah, we lost touch for ages. I got back in touch with her about the product. She became a customer. She loved the product, saw the benefits. We spoke on Facebook. We got a relationship. I got Emma on the phone, which is what I say to you. Yes, she was in Guernsey. I think that was one of the most expensive calls that I made, if you remember. I think I said to you, "Oh my God, I've been on the phone for like over an hour." It's about 65 quid, I remember that. But it just was irrelevant, because it was the start of my journey, and I just thought this person would be amazing because she can recommend the products and she can talk to people about her experience. And for me, it was just a case of saying, this girl, all she needs to do is talk about what she's using, and she's going to end up going getting some money for herself, which we all want, which is fabulous. Another quick thing, didn't know what it was. Love that. Didn't have a clue what it was. Philippa was excited and didn't have a clue what I was even doing. Sent the form that night. 2 days after, went, what have I even done? There you go. Amazing opportunity. I was excited. She had no idea what it was. That's what you want to be doing with your prospects. You want to be so excited. And then if you know that it's obviously a sustainable business model and all the rest of it, you coach them that in time. You coach them that in time. You get them to look at something that they see something in for them, and then you do the rest later because they will thank you for it in the long run. Guernsey, no support, no BP, no success days. There's loads of stuff that Emma's not had available to her, and she's still done 4cc. So that's never been an excuse for Emma either to not deliver. Success day, she came over, she flew to England. I think it was like £500 or £600 that trip, wasn't it? Bless you, to come and get your supervisor's sash. That you came over for to Success Day, which was amazing that you did that. And what a great thing, £640. There you go. And you missed your flight, didn't you, going back? So that was extra. Was it extra money? So yeah, what a weekend. But massive commitment, you know, couldn't come every time, absolutely. But doesn't have any of that over there. Didn't use that as an excuse not to build. She just mentioned that she put her own spin on it. She's very creative. She's fabulous with customer care. She will go back to all of her customers. She will give freebies, offers, discounts. Yeah, bless you. I remember. Gosh, what a memory that was. I remember that really well. Customer care, lots of different parties, like Deb's just said there. She will have wrap parties, pamper parties. Like with myself, Emma charges per wrap, and then obviously you can use that money in order for them to go and buy a new wrap kit or put it back into your business. You have to look at it like a business, not a hobby. I've said it before. And the last thing there was her own website. She's got her uncle to help her make her own website. She's mainly a retailer, so what a great thing to create of your own. Check it with Forever and push that forward, and you know, get that out to new and existing customers. So absolutely huge. I'm sure you'd all agree with me there. What a great, you know, asset to Forever Emma is, and what a great person to have in the team. She's committed, she's driven, she's passionate, she loves the products, and she is consistent with her 4cc. So massively proud of you, hon. Well done, and thank you very, very much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I know I've thrown this on a couple of you tonight, but I really appreciate you sharing that. So we're going to run over till about 9:30, guys. I hope that's okay tonight, but I'm just going to make sure that I get these speakers on. So I'm going to hand you over to Deb, so she can chat to you for a couple of minutes as well, just about the same kind of thing, her journey, a little bit, how she got involved, how we kind of met, obviously her sort of take on potentially the way that she was, you know, kind of prospected, and how we started our journey together. And really, you know, obviously Deb's got a great little team being built now, so how she goes about, you know, those kind of prospecting methods and getting her team and her customers as well. So Deb, can you hear me? Oh, have we lost you? Oh, I've got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Lovely. Yes, we can hear you, hon. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Philippa, and thanks, Emma. That was such a brilliant talk that you did there on your experience. I really need to pick your brains. I think the one thing that rang true for me there was, I wish I could scrub September off my calendar from last year, because I didn't have a good month in September, and it's like it haunts me. But anyway, Philippa, am I okay to carry on now? I think so. I think Philippa's muted herself. Yeah, in terms of...
Go for it. Sorry.
You're right, Philippa. Hello? Okay, in terms of how I sort of got involved, I think I met Philippa at an event I was doing, and Philippa came along and supported that. And I don't think we sort of connected in terms of sharing the business with me for a good few months, but we did sort of connect as friends. So I was watching Philippa's business growing over sort of like a 6-month period, really. So we built up a good relationship, and then one day I became somebody who tried one of Philippa's foot baskets. So she brought it over, and I tried them, and I love the products. And surprisingly to me, I started thinking about the actual business opportunity as well. So invited Philippa over to talk to me a little bit more about the business, and I was just reflecting on what that was like on that first day. And I can remember that Philippa came along, and she sort of shared the business with me, you know, like we do on that first one-to-one. And I think in terms of like, you know, what I know now, when I look back, Philippa didn't sort of overload me with information, you know, which is exactly what I've been coached by her to do to others. So I didn't get bombarded with loads of information. But I did say yes straight away, and I was like really keen. And I thought about that, what made me say yes. And it was a couple of things really. Because I'd been watching Philippa and watching Philippa's business grow for like 6-7 months before, I'd begun to believe in her, and obviously the way she presented herself, you know, she was lovely, like really warm and everything. And I think I just really, really trusted Philippa, to be honest. And it's that thing about how we are our biggest asset. And certainly that was, you know, she didn't sort of like have to sell it to me hugely. I trusted her. I'd seen how the opportunity had worked for her, and I grabbed the chance to do it, and I did. I came on board fairly quickly. So yeah, I think that's why I sort of said yes. The other thing is, I can remember Philippa also making it very, very relevant to me. You know, that thing where we ask people, you know, not everybody wants the big yacht, do they? And it's got to be relative to your life now. And I can remember for me, it was about me sort of thinking, like, you know, I didn't really want a full-time job at the time. I've got other business commitments as well. And I had it explained to me in a way that how Forever could actually sit alongside my other commitments. So, yeah, that was a really important thing to me as well, the way it was sort of made very, very relevant to me. And that's stuff that I try and do, you know, how I've been coached myself by Philippa in terms of when I'm prospecting other people. So, yeah, I suppose how I sort of go out and about and find prospects myself, thinking about that list that Philippa showed before, and I sort of said that I do 10 of them. The two where I do sort of like not struggle with, but just don't fit into my life really, is flyering, going around dropping flyers off, although I've always got my flyers to leave in places where I am anyway, at business meeting, and then that contact marketing. But I do lots of contact marketing. I just don't do it in shops because I'm not really a shopper. But yeah, if the truth be known, I do contact marketing in other ways, sort of when I'm at other networking events. So yeah, how I actually prospect people. What I've come to learn, and this is only what I've been taught, you know, only what I've been taught through watching other people, and particularly to how it's been coached to me, is to never rule out anybody. And that's definitely come to fruition in recent months when people right out of the blue who I never thought would be interested in the business have started quizzing me. So sometimes, you know, just we get it told to us all the time, people are constantly watching you, aren't they? And just in the way that I watched Philippa's journey, I'm beginning to see how people are watching me. So people do end up approaching you and asking you themselves, but where most of my prospects come really is through social media, like I say, where people are watching what I'm doing and then they get a bit curious. So these are prospects for like recruiting and also people, potential customers as well. That who do you know list, I must admit in the early days I used to think, how can I wade through this 500 people? But it's there, and it's there to be built against, and you know, to keep building on it. And yeah, I'd sort of like I contact people on a regular basis and use that to sort of link in with people all the time and share the business opportunity. The other thing that I try and do is I've got my finger in lots of other pies. You know, I've got my own business as well. And I do lots of consultancy work, which means I'm constantly coming into contact with people, and I never ever miss an opportunity. I'm not, I don't sort of like bore people with it, because I've listened to the training about how, you know, when we are enthusiastic, sometimes we can become forever bores, and I'm not like that. But I find, you know, I have conversations with people, and where relevant, I will mention it. Or I'll listen to what people are saying and think, you know, they might be somebody who's going to be interested in the future. So I considered sort of like the business opportunity with people in all manner of network. You know, whenever I'm coming in contact with people, whether it's in a professional sense or, you know, in personal social settings as well. And in terms of like my customers, where they come from, social media, of course, that's been massive for me. Certainly doing sort of forever events, and something that I sort of, I don't know if this is a term, it's something that I think of, doing that conscious listening all the time. So even if I'm not going into an event with my forever hat on, if I'm wearing one of my other business hats on, I'm always listening out for where there might be an opportunity for me to talk about the product, just like Philippa said she did with Emma, and like we do, we listen out for where people have got conditions or health problems where you think actually our products might help with that. But I'm always very, very careful that I don't bombard people, because I just know how it would feel for me. So it's just about conscious listening, I think, being able to listen to people and to talk about forever in a way that's appropriate. I find the stalls, and again, this is not something I've invented, it's what I've been taught through, the amazing coaching that I've had off Philippa and what I've learned off other people, because, what Forever's like, it's great for getting that support from the wider team. And what it was always said to me was, that stalls, as much as I appreciate and I totally admire how Emma's built this great big retail, and I really need to pick your brains on that one, Emma, but stalls for me are not always about retailing. If I do sell things, that's fabulous. But for me, having a stall at a community event, at a networking event, at a business thing, or a craft fair or a wedding fair or what have you, for me, I use those stalls as a way to connect with people, and it works. I do nothing more than come away from them with new contacts. And then lo and behold, out of those new contacts, say you get 12, 15 contacts from every event, you can guarantee that from there you will get pubs to go out, you will get parties to do, and you will get customs. So you might not get them on the day, but I never ever see those events a loss if I don't make any sales, because I do them to actually network. And like I say, that's only what I've been taught. And I think until you put this into practice, you never know how successful that is going to be. But I can honestly say, like, over the last 6 months, by doing what's been taught to me, it definitely works. So I think that's probably everything, Philippa. I think I've covered everything that you asked me to.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Deb. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to pick a few points out again, a bit like with Emma that you kind of touched on there that I jotted down. But that's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. What I was kind of wanting you to kind of go with, really. So thank you so much for that, Han. Thank you very much. It was brilliant, that. So yeah, absolutely. Like she's just said there, just to pick up on a couple of points, a bit like with Emma, really. You can see what a fabulous journey. Again, completely different to Emma's. Couldn't really be more different. Very different people, very different lives. But both building fabulous businesses in different ways. And I think as well, again, it's just kind of looking at the fact that they both look at different things, and they're obviously talking about it there, saying that they want to sort of look at building the business in different ways, but ultimately the goal is the same. We're all trying to get CCs, we're all trying to build an income for ourselves, and get off all CC minimum. We all want a few customers, and potentially, if you're looking for it, you might be looking for team members. Just something that Deb said there, obviously we connected, and when we met and Deb sort of asked me to tell her more about the business from the put box, one of the things that she said there, exactly like Emma, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't, Philippa didn't go into the company and the business and XYZ, but you kind of believed in me. And again, that was my passion. I've loved this business from January last year when I really realised what I had my hands on. And, that kind of like went across onto Deb, and she thought, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. So again, always come back to that whole people by people. You have to be passionate about the business. You have to realise that people will join you because of you. They're not joining forever. Okay, they're not joining Forever Living products. They're joining you. That is so important. They're buying a product from you. They're not buying a product from Forever Living head office in Warwick. They're buying a product from Emma De Carteret or Deb Drinkwater. That's who they're purchasing their products from. That's who they're wanting to be coached by, not, forever as a company. That comes later when they learn about the business. Something that Deb said as well, which is massively important, and thank you very much for touching on that, Deb, was to make it relevant to the individual. It is so important to be very mindful, again, whether it's customer or potential recruit, that you are giving that person something that they want. So I did say to Deb, what do you do? And she was like, well, actually, I do a lot of freelance work, blah, blah, blah. I'm really busy. And I said, fantastic. I said, because this could fit in, the nooks and crannies of what you do. So again, it was relevant to Deb. If I'd have gone in there, all guns blazing, going, yeah, let's get you to chairman's bonus, let's get you to car plan, let's get your manager, you've got to work 30 hours a week, she'd have gone, it's not for me, Philippa. I just don't think, I haven't got the time. And we all hear, I haven't got the time so much. If I had £1 for every time somebody said I haven't got the time or it's a pyramid, I'd be a millionaire now. But that's another story. But it's making it relevant to the individual. So it's really, really important that you look at what that person is looking for and looking to get out of forever. Don't judge was another one. Absolutely true. We all have a chicken list. We all think, it's probably not going to be for them. Don't judge. As not Eric Worre, what's his name? Yeah, it is Eric Worre. Prejudging costs you money. No, I'm not. I'm lying. It's Wes Linden. 79 network marketing tips. Prejudging costs you money. Very, 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 very true. Don't prejudge because you never know. Who do you know list? Very quickly, she touched on who do you know list. Absolutely 100%. It's where people fall down. Deb said it exactly right there. A few months ago, she was like, didn't really get the importance of that. Look at the difference. If obviously maybe not so much firsthand as with me. But I can look at Deb's journey and go where she is now from where she was 6 months ago. That's because she's working her who do you know list correctly and she's growing her pipeline. And that's why she's getting a team. And that's why she's getting between 5 and 6 CC a month every month and recruits. Okay, this business is no secret. You work it, it works for you. Never miss an opportunity. I made it relevant to Deb. She makes it relevant to other people. So again, when you're recruiting or you're looking for a customer, are you rambling on about the drinking gel or are you asking them what they suffer with? Are you making it personal to them? And the last thing, which is 100% true, what Deb said, which is what I've always coached down in this team from when I very first started doing my stalls and events, is that we don't do stalls to make money. We don't do the stalls on the day to walk away with £100 worth of sales. Brilliant if we do. Absolutely amazing. But I've never, ever, ever, I think from my third stall, I very quickly realised that I don't do stalls anymore to make sales. I do it to make contacts. Exactly what Deb said there. You're making contacts, you're building relationships. And like she said, it will result in customers. It will result in sales, put boxes, potentially referrals. And in Deb's case and Sarah's case, who's joining on the 13th of this month, they've both come from a put box and are in my frontline team. So you've got to look at the ways that you're using to grow your business in terms of the results that you want. So thank you so much for that, ladies. I really appreciate that. And I hope that if you've listened to that, and again, those of you who will listen to this recording, I want to make sure that everybody watches this because that's just absolutely brilliant. Last couple of slides. I want to flip through these quickly. I can go into these in more detail. I want these people to all speak in the next couple of weeks, so I'm not going to go too far into their journeys. But I've just popped up here. If I went through my whole team, we'd be here till about 10:30, so I won't. But it's just to touch on there. I spoke about Mandy before. Mandy is going to tell her story next week, I think, just because of time. But again, Mandy's got a great story, just like the other two tonight, on her journey, where she got to. A few of you know, Mandy stopped for a while. She's picked it back up now and she's running like she's never ran before, which is just incredible. And that's why the results are coming in for her. Marie and Andy again. I'm hoping to get Marie. She couldn't make it tonight. It was very last minute. That I spoke to her earlier, but Marie and Andy, again, they joined about a year ago. They have, sort of retailed for a while, stopped and started a couple of times, and then they're back on track again now. They got their first promotion at the end of last month, and they are basically building a team now, and they are going to basically work their way to manager in the next few months as well. So again, I'll let them tell their story. Becky, obviously Becky Blees, again wanted to get on tonight, but she's up at 4 a.m. for work, so she was like, I need to sleep, which is fine because we all have other commitments. But Becky basically again was someone that I knew many, many years ago, got back in contact, and again I'd love her to tell her story with you. Again, she made supervisor in December, and she is basically building a fabulous team and also working her way to manager, and wants to be manager by the time she gets married in June, so that she can wear her manager sash over her wedding dress, which I think is a huge, huge goal that she's going to achieve. So amazing stuff there. Sarah Logan at the bottom there. Again, Sarah joined me, I think it was May, June last year. She's had quite a lot of things, bless her, go on personally for her in the last few months, but she's still, trooping on. She's building a great business. She's got fabulous enthusiasm. She never lets stuff get to her. She's the kind of craziest person, I think, in terms of just being so full of excitement with this business and always wanting to share it with everybody, which is brilliant. Kat, again, works in retail, and again, she's building a fabulous business, who I want to get Kat on in a couple of weeks to tell you as well. Again, Kat's been through personal stuff, but again, guys, it's about knowing that, life can take over, but you've just got to keep going, because, the business will pay off, and when the time is right, you will run and you will reap all the benefits that the business has, got to offer for you. Tracy was in Ibiza. She joined me as a team member in Spain, and then she's since moved back. I think you're on the call tonight as well, Tracy, aren't you? Tracy moved back to the UK a few months back with her son, and again, she's been sort of getting herself settled in the UK, and is obviously getting back on track with her business now, and sort of moving forward, and again has plans to go to manager. Very quickly, just on this slide while it's on, just to touch on, I just want to go, again, they're going to tell their stories, but I want to touch on this very, very quickly. Mandy, I knew her years ago. She watched my journey and joined me from Facebook. I'll let you tell her more in the next week, but basically came eventually from Facebook. Marie and Andy, I met on a night out, which was actually, I had no idea, they were totally cold market. Well, Marie actually was totally cold market to me. I went out for my sister's birthday 2 years ago. Marie was there. We hooked up. We connected on Facebook. She saw a couple of posts. She joined from Facebook. Becky, we lost touch for years. Like I said, we reconnected, didn't even realise we were friends on Facebook. She contacted me on Facebook via a message, basically saying that she had been watching me for 6 months, a little bit of a stalker. Didn't realise that. She joined from Facebook. Sarah was a completely cold market contact. Sarah was contact marketing. I was out and about shopping. She was working. I gave her a card. Sarah's line pretty much was, is it like Avon? And kind of screwed her face up. She met me for a coffee a couple of days later, and the rest is kind of history. So completely cold market, contact marketing there from Sarah. Kat was an event, so exactly what Deb's just said. I did an event last March in Rochdale, in Oldham, in Manchester, and Kat was interested in the Clean 9 at the time. Basically, we connected on Facebook. I make sure, guys, you can probably get this from now, that I get people on Facebook and I use my Facebook correctly. It is so important if you are wanting to build a solid business, that you build a relationship, and Facebook is a platform. It is not the only way to build customers and recruits, but it is huge. We connected on Facebook. All Kat wanted was a Clean 9. A few weeks later, I saw that she was unhappy in her job. We met for a coffee. She saw my journey. She went, oh, I've been watching you. She joined the team. Tracy contacted her, not spoke to her for years. She was living in Ibiza, still working over in Spain. She saw a little bit of me on Facebook. She joined the team. Facebook, kind of Facebook afterwards, but more contact marketing, event and Facebook. So even though all these people might have been met elsewhere, they saw my journey and they were literally kind of in some way, apart from Sarah, people who saw my journey and followed me from Facebook. Very, very quickly, just the last couple of slides now, guys. We're getting on to 9:30. This is my 3 new people. Brenda joined in January last month, and Chloe and Sharon have joined this month. Brenda, this was her launch. I did her launch for her on what day did we do it? Monday night this week in a local pub. This is her with my little banner. She is just a fabulous, fabulous lady. She actually contacted me from a flyer that I had in a shop window. So very much like Sarah, completely cold market. Was intrigued. Again, I'd love to get Brenda on a few weeks. She does tricky hours at work at the moment, so it's quite hard to get her on in evenings. But she has a great story as well. in terms of why she's doing Forever. She's got a great little story. And basically, Brenda was, I say, contact marketing came from a flyer, which is completely, again, another way of prospecting. Chloe here, Chloe was a kids rep, and I was an events manager, maybe about 4 years ago, overseas. And I got in contact with Chloe about 6 months ago, and she totally ignored me, saw my message on Facebook, totally ignored me. I saw she'd seen it, but she never replied, which is what happens. And then obviously I kept in contact. I actually contacted Chloe a couple of times. She never replied. And then I put up a post 2 weeks ago about the fact that I'd received the biggest bonus ever from Forever so far, and she liked the status, and I just thought maybe the timing's right. So I went back for about, I don't know, the 5th or 6th time, contacted her. She messaged me straight back and said, send me more information. She's on maternity with a little boy who's 4 months, who's beautiful. She was logging on tonight, bless her, but her baby's having a few, sleeping problems, bless him. So she's going to watch the recording, but a great story there. She's due back to go back to work in June after her maternity, and she's basically not going to do it because we're going to get her an income that makes her not have to do that. And she actually had a launch tonight. She messaged me about an hour before I started this training to say that she had a launch this afternoon, did it all herself, set it all up on her own. She had 5 ladies turn up and took £125 worth of sales. So, again, she's not on my doorstep. We've had 2 planning sessions. She's done her launch. She's got a little baby at home. No excuses. No secret, guys. If you want it, go out and do it. And Sharon, lastly, Sharon was a lady who I went into a Weight Watchers group in our local gym. I think it was, it was about 1.5 years ago, and I met Sharon and I said to her, hi, I'm doing Forever, this is who I am, this is what I do. Is there an option for me to come in and bring a few products, not to sell, but to have maybe at the back of your Weight Watchers group? Because obviously they're here to lose weight, so I wasn't going to promote the C9, obviously. But I was thinking along with weight problems comes maybe a skin condition, comes bloating. You might find that you sort of struggle with stress or sleep or whatever. And I was thinking, well, I've got products for that, so I can help. She spoke to Weight Watchers and I wasn't allowed to have anything in her group, but she mentioned that she'd like the idea to try the gel, so I arranged with her to drop off a put box. We totally lost contact, just the way life goes, and I recontacted her about 6-7 months ago, going through my who do you know list, so never cross anybody off your list, guys. And I gave her a put box before Christmas. She ordered a Propolis cream. Again, I'm going to get them all to tell you their proper journeys, but I just want to give you a breakdown so you can see tonight how people can come on board. She tried the Propolis cream. She was amazed by the benefits. I think she bought another Propolis cream off me a couple of months ago, and then guess what? We connected on Facebook. She saw a message on Facebook, a post, that I'd put up. She liked it, and then I saw something on her wall that she was working for another network, or working with another network marketing company. I contacted her, to which she told me they were a nightmare, to which I obviously said, well, if you're looking for a bit of extra money, I have an opportunity within my business. Within about 3 hours, she asked me she watched Angie's video, she asked me for the distributor form, and she signed up that night. And we had her first planning this week on Tuesday, and she has got her launch on the 8th of March, and she's already got half a case credit of retail sales in 4 days. So, but interestingly enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not just from Facebook, because I don't sit on Facebook all day, 6, 7 came from me building relationships and then continuing that on Facebook, using my Facebook cleverly, and then they watched my journey. So, guys, it's about what you're doing with your business. It's about what you're doing with your time. Is it CC producing? Is it income producing? Are you building relationships? Are you using enough prospecting methods? And do you have consistency, persistence, and urgency in your business to make sure that you are achieving the results? So basically, to close off tonight, ask yourself these 3 questions. Exactly what I've just said. Are you using enough methods to find customers or prospects for the results that you want? Are you always looking for opportunity? Just what Deb said, never miss an opportunity. The business should be part of your life, not a job. And that doesn't mean work 24/7. That means that you are so passionate and connected to your why that you are always looking for ways to build your business or get customers or get potential recruits. Please write those down, guys, and ask yourself, are you doing them? If you get a bad week or you're struggling with your CCs, am I doing them? No, I'm not. That's why I've not got the results. No secret. You want the CCs, do the activity. And I'm going to leave you with a final quote, which is exactly what I've just said there. I wrote this on the team page the other night, and it really is so poignant at the moment in so many of my planning meetings that I'm having with frontline and also further down. Don't be upset by the results that you did not get from the work that you did not do. That is just laying it on the line. And you know what? Sometimes it's hard to look at yourself and realize that you're not doing enough and you've let yourself down, or you've had a tough month, or you think, wow, do you know what? I'm not doing enough here. But it's not about getting down about it. It's about thinking, if I want this business to work and I want my CCs and I joined Forever to make money, then go out and do the activity, because then you will get the results from the work that you do. So I hope that's helped tonight, guys. I hope that's given you a bit of food for thought. I hope that's given you a little bit of something to go away and think about. Again, whether it's retail or prospecting, I think that fits into every area of the business, and also looking at yourself a little bit as well. And I hope it's helped in terms of being able to sort of coach your team as well. I hope you found that helpful. Yeah, so thank you very much. I will pop the recording up on the page, as I said, at the end of tonight once I've got it all uploaded, or alternatively I'll pop it up tomorrow. But I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much to our speakers, guys. Thank you, Emma and Deb. Absolutely brilliant. Great stories tonight. Really proud of you both. And guys, we've got 2 days left. 4cc, it's the minimum. If you're not doing it, why are you not doing it? Go out and get the CCs. Go and do it. Go and have fun with it. Go and enjoy it. Get your parties in. Go on back to your customers and follow up. Go and get some CCs in. Have a great night, guys. You're very welcome, Deb. And thank you very much, guys. And apologies it ran over, but I think it was worth it tonight and hopefully helped you all. And I will speak to you all soon. Keep pushing, guys. 2 days left. Cheers, guys. Good night.